We welcome you back to the program. You know, there's a great reasons to live in this community, and one of those, a lot of people that are single like to live here for a variety of safety and other reasons, but the single life presents some challenges. Marcia Wilson has some information for us today. If you live alone here in the village, some things that might make it better for you. Marcia, welcome.
Thank you, Rob. This list of items, 10 things to do if you should live alone, came to me at the request of a former resident, Bert Taubman, who was living alone after his wife passed away and said, we need something to help people here in the community manage being alone. So I worked real hard on this and I've been using it ever since. So with a nod to David Letterman on his top 10, we'll start with number 10. And number 10 says, medical ID bracelet. If you're taking special medications or have a major medical diagnosis, you want to order a medical ID bracelet with that information imprinted on it. Be sure to wear that ID bracelet every day. Now we're going to scoot to number 9. Something I believe in is a refrigerator door sign. Place a list on your refrigerator door with the names and numbers of family members or friends who should be called in an emergency. You want to place another list on the refrigerator with the name and number of your doctor and all your current medications. That's the first place when emergency medical team comes in. 3 are working on you. 1's looking around to catch any information about medications, and they're going to look at the refrigerator door. So that's number 9. Then we go to number 8. And number 8 says emergency notification record. This form lists your instructions should you have an emergency and you're going to go to the hospital. You can list family names, phone numbers, and instructions for your pet's care. These emergency forms are located in the lobby, and you return the completed form to security. We've also got them in social services. This is a good thing to do, especially if you moved in years ago and the kids' phone numbers have changed, you want to keep that current. Now we go to number 7. Number 7 is make a duplicate Manor key. Give a duplicate Manor key to the security department. They're only going to use it for entrance to your Manor in an emergency if they must enter and your front door is locked. Having a duplicate key avoids breaking down your door and costly repair bills. So get that duplicate key into security. Number 6 says create a signal with your neighbor. Let one neighbor know that closed drapes or closed blinds at your home after 9 a.m. is a signal to please check on me. And the kind thing to do would be to offer to do the very same for your neighbor. Have a simple, non-intrusive way of letting them know you didn't get up yet, and they'll come check on you. Then we scoot to number 5. This is something I believe in. It's an emergency response device, number 5. This device is going to summon emergency personnel if you should fall at home and you can't get up. It's worn around your neck or it can be placed on your wrist. You press the button on the device and emergency personnel are on the way. You wear it in the shower, you wear it in the house, and emergency people come right away. It doesn't help you outside, I believe, because the signal doesn't go that far, but we're hoping that outside somebody will notice if you should trip and fall. But in the house, you're all alone, you want that emergency response device. Number 4, durable power of attorney for health care. This form documents your specific wishes for medical care and treatment should you be unable to speak for yourself. This form is free and it's available in the social services department with very easy instructions. If you find it daunting, we'll help you fill it out, no problem. Once completed, you want to give copies of this form to your doctor and to your family members. Number 3 says, make your home fall safe. Falls are the number 1 reason for security calls. To avoid a fall, you want to remove all small scatter rugs. You want to install grab bars in your tub or shower. You want to avoid using a step ladder. Put frequently used items within easy reach and add stronger lighting. And lastly, remove any clutter. If any of these problems are too much for you, call social services. We can help give you a hand on making your home fall safe. Number 2, don't try to do everything yourself. If you've got household chores that are difficult to do, we've got reliable companies to help you with cleaning, organizing, paying your bills, meal preparation. If you live alone, we can help. And finally, number 1. Number 1 on our top 10 list is contact your social services department. Our goal in our department is to help you live safely at home for as long as possible. Our services are always confidential, they're always free, and help is just a phone call away. And there's our number, 597-4267. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We close down for lunch from 12 to 1, but we're there for everybody.
You know, Marcia, in previous years, you had given reports on a regular basis at one of the committees of GRF, the Government Public Relations Committee. That committee has been phased out this year. Are you giving your reports any other place on an ongoing regular basis here?
Quarterly to the security committee that meets.
One of the things that you have to be very careful with, and I know this is a professional requirement in your type of work, is confidentiality.
Absolutely.
So while you're going to give statistics at that meeting, you're going to say we had this many of these kinds of calls, or our groups helped these kinds of people. You're not going to be giving out names and Manor numbers, so people don't have to worry about that.
Ever.
What about confidentiality when it comes to a neighbor in the community trying to help one of their friends, one of their neighbors here in the community? If they call you up and they go, you know, I see my neighbor every day at the laundry room, and they just seem different. There seems to be something wrong. I don't know if there's a family problem or a medical problem or what, and I'm a little reluctant to ask them. Can they get referred to you, or can you handle that?
We can. We're going to do it with as much discretion and gentleness as possible, because when you knock on a door and make a cold call and say, hi, I'm from Social Services Department here in Laguna Woods Village, they're going to say, who called you? What's the problem? People are very proud, and they like to handle their lives themselves. I make it as an informational visit and simply say that I've been here 11 years, and still people don't know that we exist. So I give them my card, I give them a brochure, I ask if they have any time to talk to me today. What I'm doing is assessing from the minute they open that door. I'm looking for somebody if they appear confused, if they have 3 days beard, if they have old clothes on that show yesterday's meal on their front chest, if there are strange odors coming from their house, or it obviously looks cluttered and chaotic. I'm going to very gently ask if I could come in and talk a little bit, that I'm a source of resources for them in the community. I'm not the long arm of the law, though I appear on the security committee. We're not part of enforcement, we're not part of compliance, but we are part of the services team here that serves residents. And one of those things is information and referral if you're in a jam. Mm-hmm. So we will keep that neighbor out of that conversation completely. A lot of good friends, close friends, don't want to be named, and I appreciate that. So I take down what they tell us, and we will open a case, but we're not going to mention the neighbor. We're also not going to get back to that caring neighbor to say, well, this is what happened when I went to Myrtle's house. No, they don't get any follow-up from us. They get our thanks, and we'll do the best we can. And sometimes things are unfounded. Sometimes when things are uglier and it's complaints and pointing fingers at neighbors, I find a different story when I get there. Mm-hmm. So I'm balancing everything that somebody tells me versus something that I see with my own eyes.
Right.
We're not a judge of anyone, but we are there for help.
What about family members who maybe don't live here? People getting together with family, you know, the kids visit and they call you on Monday and say, you know, Uncle Fred doesn't seem to be doing that well. You follow up on those as well if it's a family member.
You bet we do. And it seems to me prior to the leading up to a holiday, we get a little quiet. After a holiday, the phones ring because they see for themselves what's in Uncle Fred's refrigerator. They see he missed paying his bills for 2 months and the electricity is threatened to turn off. We can jump in and help. We would do work with families. Worked with 2 nice women this week, twins, who come in for their mother. They both live out of state. It was very, very stressful for them. We've got good Kleenex. We've got an arm around the shoulder. We've got good chocolate, and we've got good ideas. I put her in touch with a number of people, the 2 daughters, to help their mother for next steps. She's thinking both of the girls were thinking, well, for the next year. No, let's look short term right now. What does your mother need for safety? Can she come home? Then let's plan otherwise for just the next 2 or 3 months. Nothing's in stone.
And there's lots of things around this community that help people out. There's the senior center, there's adult daycare services. Some of these kinds of things may help some people with certain things. There's great other, not that we're wanting people to move out, but there's other living arrangements that are available to people as well. And there might be an appropriate time where somebody needs to find a different situation. They need a little more help.
And they don't want to give up their friendships. They've stayed here for years and love that.
Yeah.
We have a number of places right around our periphery where people can take a bus to, take a short drive, or walk over to see them. So they wouldn't lose their connections. That's scary.
That's very important. They can stay with the same social group, the same church group, whatever it might be. That's their circle of friends, so that's important as well. Well, as you can see, Marcia provides some great services, she and her staff, down there on the first floor. That's right across the hall from the recreation division. They do take a lunch hour. We give them a lunch break. And otherwise, they're there Monday through Friday to help you folks and your neighbors. And again, some great suggestions for those that live alone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcia. You're back next week with more. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Marcia Wilson manages the Social Services Department right here for you folks in Laguna Woods Village. We'll be back with more as our Thursday program continues here on Channel 6.